Welcome to our first broadcast online. Uh, so I see that there's no one joining us right now, but I'm still going to go ahead and do my thing so that you guys are informed of what you need to do and to sort of cover any general questions that I think students probably have. So, first of all, I'm Professor Galley, so nice to meet you. We will meet online like this once a week or once a module because our modules don't quite last a full week because of the time constraints on this tutorial. But we'll meet at least once every module, so once every 3 to 5 days. Okay. Um, Welcome to the tutorial. The objectives of this is that you gain some skills and strategies to be a better reader, and that at the end of this tutorial, you will take the reading comprehension accuplacer exam on August 21st, I believe, from 3 to 5 p.m. in Dining Hall, Computer Lab G08. um, that you'll take the accuplacer exam, that you will pass it with a 65 or higher, and that you can go on to a freshman composition 1 course. If by chance you get a score below 65, then you will be taking the course before Comp 1. I think, I know it's, I, I don't quite recall the name of the reading class. It might be essential reading, um, but your advisor can tell you what that course is. Okay. Okay. So it's been a pleasure meeting many of the students online this week. Uh, we have about 43 students in the class, and I'd say about 10 or 12 of you guys have actually been online doing the work. The rest of you guys, you need to get the ball rolling, um, because, well, because I want you to pass the test. You want to pass the test. You don't want to get stuck in a course that you don't have to take in the fall semester. Um, I just wrapped up this class for summer session 1, and I had uh, 10 or 11 students enrolled. 7 students took the exam, and well, 6 students took the exam. 5 passed. 1 did not. And those 6 students, they all did the work. Um, I think that I think that there are skills and strategies in this tutorial that are going to kind of give you tips on how to master test taking for reading. Okay, so let's kind of take a quick overview of how Blackboard is set up. So when you log into Blackboard from stpeters.blackboard.com, you see a list of all your courses. These are all the ones that I'm taking, or I'm teaching. So yours will look different. We are in summer session 2. This is the first thing you see, right? Well, make sure you read through everything. Blackboard is locked for all students until you complete every item on this list. Notice this is not work in terms of assignments. It is to set up the pre-course things that you need to do. So you set up a VoiceThread, a Quizlet account, but you're not actually doing any work on VoiceThread or Quizlet until you finish everything on this list, including this Blackboard orientation assessment. Once you complete this last item, all of Blackboard opens for you. And that's how um, our, our online courses are set up. Okay, so once that is set up, this left side panel, this menu bar is it's your table of contents essentially. So if you want to see if I sent out announcements to you guys, click on announcements and you'll see all the announcements, when I sent it, and what it says. Um, it starts at the top from the most recent announcements all the way down to the first announcement I ever sent you. Um, For the most part, I try to force these announcements out to your SPU emails. Um, and so if you are monitoring your school email, you should be getting these announcements as well. Okay, so let's go back to start here. That was the landing page when you first log into Blackboard for our course. After you've completed everything on this list, go to week by week. So in week by week, you will see the tutorial objectives, and these are the three main objectives: to read independently, select and use strategies, and to select and demonstrate various study skills and methods to pass the AccuPlacer reading test. Um, right now, you guys only see Module 1 because that's all I've opened for you guys to see. So, okay, this is what you guys see. So, Module 1 tells you what we're doing that week, the dates, excuse me, not the week, but the module, tells you the dates of this module and what the objectives are. And so, this first one, identify test components of the AccuPlacer reading test. This links back to objective number 3 here so that you can see why Professor Galley or whatever professor is teaching this course is forcing you to have this module, right? Because to have this objective, because it relates back to this tutorial here. So you can read that on your own. Now then you click through, and it's basically like a little book, right? It has your table of contents and everything that you have to do. Every module will be set up this way. There is a schedule of things that you need to do. I will always put our online meeting first, so you can plan ahead on what day we are meeting. Hopefully, you can join us. If you can't, that's okay. It doesn't count against you, but you should watch the tutorial after I post it. So what's going to happen is today our meeting is from 10 to 11. So I'm recording it. Once we wrap up, I will post it to Blackboard as a recording. And I'll do that every for all 4 modules, and you can always go back and watch the modules recording. So then everything is listed here, and you can just go through each one, right? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so you will always have a practice test at the beginning of a module, and then you'll learn a lesson and have a practice or application. And then I have all students go back and take the same practice test. And so it's a metric for you guys. You know where you started, and then you learn some strategies, and now it's your time to apply it and see if you can take the same test but get a better grade. I don't care how many times you guys take these tests. In fact, I think the more that you take it, the 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 better you're going to train your brain in thinking about test taking. I'm sure you guys have heard this before, where there are people who are smart, who don't know who have a hard time taking tests, and then there are students who aren't really so smart, but they're really good at taking tests because it's a way of thinking. And so by giving you guys these practice tests 2 times for every module, I'm hoping to help you develop your test taking skills. Okay. So, and at the end of every module, you have to complete this module reflection. And it's a time for you to think about what happened in the week. What did you do well? What do you need to improve on? What do you need to talk to me about? It helps you get a gauge of what you might need to do in reviewing. And it's a pulse check for me of what do I need to go back and help my students with. Okay. Um, so that's how our modules are set up. Also, on this left-hand panel, there's a discussion board. I want all students to use this to post any questions because, like I had said before, um, I have 43 students, and so I think over the last couple of days I got 8 emails asking me the same question. But if you post it here, I can just answer it once and students can refer here for the answer. Okay. Okay. So I do see that William posted, did you get my practice test results? Okay. So here's what you guys can do if you're unsure of whether or not your practice test results logged. You can go to my grades. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. You can't do that with the way that I set up Blackboard here. What you can do is you can go back to the tests that you took. So module 1, and you can go back to your practice test. And if you have already taken it, it will tell you that you've already taken it and that it has been sent. Okay. So I'm going to go back um, to our class so that I can see if there's anyone here. And I don't see anyone here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and look at this week's material and go over the reading strategies or the context clues for vocabulary. Hi, Jocelyn, are you here?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I
So
just
listen.
woke up.
Oh, uh-huh.
I just woke up.
Well, good morning. Did you get
Good
your coffee
morning.
or tea or orange juice yet?
I'm going to do now.
Mm. Um, well, I first want to say welcome, and it's nice to like talk to someone. Um, you might hear my daughter in the background. She loves
Mm-hmm.
it when I'm doing work because she hopes to see you guys.
You guys? Okay.
Um, so I'm just doing like an overview of the course. But if you have questions, you can ask me specific questions, or you can stop me and say, "Hey, go back." Whatever.
Yes, I have a question
Yeah, sure. What's your question?
about the test. The test we can take the times that we want. It's not just one time.
Do you mean for our the work in the tutorial or the AccuPlacer test?
The acuplacer test.
Okay. So the AccuPlacer, you guys are going to take it on August 21st, I believe it is. Um, let's just double check first, okay? If I go back to our class, one second. Okay. If I go back to our class and start here, let me just make sure. Yes. Okay. So it's the second item on the start here page. So it's on Tuesday. This is the date. Okay. So after the tutorial, you can take this test.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because it's so close to the fall semester starting, I think you only have one chance to take it.
So if we fail, we're gonna take remedial classes.
Yes. Yes. Um, there are a couple of sort of selling points that I have for students. I'm not sure if you had logged in when I said this before, but in my I just did this tutorial last month, and I had nine or 10 students enrolled. Only 6 students did work, and only five passed. Five passed.
Oh, really?
And I'll tell you something. I went back and I was looking at their work and their scores, and they had they had some improvement from the beginning, like module 1 to module 4. And I thought 4 of them were not going to pass based on their scores. And they did it. They passed. And I said to them, you just have to practice, 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 because the strategies that I'm teaching in module 1, and then you'll see in module 2, 3, and 4, they all like teach your brain to look for certain hints when you are reading paragraphs. Okay. Um, and so even if the scores in the tutorial aren't as high as like you'd like them to be, I promise you that it's working. It's It's part of the skill building to get you to pass in the end.
Yeah, because for me it's difficult understanding.
What do you think, what do you
For-
think is hard about it?
Because I'm from Ecuador, so I have been 2 years here.
Okay.
So it's difficult for me to understand. Not no all the things because I understand,
Hmm.
but some words is difficult.
Okay. So a couple of things. Number one is, and I've taught the developmental reading class for a long time. I don't teach it at St. Peter's, but I've taught it at other colleges and universities. And even if English is your second language, right? I think sometimes when we're reading and we see a word that we don't know, we think, "Oh, I have to go to a dictionary and know what this word means." But the truth is, you only need a 30% understanding of what the word most likely means to understand the whole paragraph. So think about that for a second. We're reading something, we see a word we don't know. Our first reaction is to go get a dictionary or to look it up online.
Mm-hmm.
But statistics show that you only need a 30% understanding of the word to understand the whole passage. That's not
So I have to be practice, practice, and practice.
well, yeah, you need to practice, right? But in this module 1, I give you 4 ways to look for context clues to understand
Yes.
vocabulary.
Okay.
Um, what did you think about those 4 ways? Were they clear on how they can help you?
I already knew because I was following a tutorial on
Uh-huh.
YouTube. So I
Uh-huh.
already knew that. And that helps me a lot.
Okay. I think that's I think that one of the ways to continue this practice to continue this practice is to read other things and to try to apply these strategies. Hang on one
Mm-hmm.
second, Jocelyn.
Okay.
And is that something that you could try to practice too?
What?
So the strategies that you're learning in the tutorial, um, I think try them out on anything that you read. And if you don't read a lot because you don't have enough time, come here, Gracie. Then go ahead and just pick up anything. Pick up the newspaper. Pick up anything that you can read and try to apply those strategies.
Yeah, I did it that with the test, the
Hmm.
practice test.
And how did it
But
work?
for synonyms,
Yep.
I got it wrong almost all of them.
Okay. So, um, did it help to think about the signal words or phrases to help you identify synonyms and antonyms?
Yeah, I identify, but the meaning of the words
Hmm.
is a little bit difficult. But
Yeah.
the practice test, can I do again?
Yeah. You can do these as many times as you want. I don't care. The way that I'm grading this tutorial. Excuse me for one second,
Okay.
Gracie. Here. Okay, look, mommy's talking to Jocelyn. Okay, so you have to give me some time. She said hi, Jocelyn.
Hi.
She's only 3, so
Oh,
there you go. You got it. Okay. I'm sorry, Jocelyn.
it's
Um,
okay.
I forgot what I was talking about.
About the practice test that you
Okay.
got.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can do them as many times as you want. The way I'm grading the tutorial is that if students do the work,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you take the test. I want you guys to succeed. I don't want you to spend thousands of dollars on a class that you can pass through by taking this tutorial. Um, so So do these practice tests, do the application practices as many times as you want. Um, I had someone in my last tutorial who did every test and every application like 4 or 5 times. I'm all for it. Um, this acuplacer reading test, it is a way of thinking, right? It's like, I mean, have you heard this before that these standardized tests, it's a way of thinking. It's not necessarily like how smart you are. It's like they always ask the same questions. So it's a matter of how to break apart the paragraph to find what they're looking for. Does that make
To,
sense?
yeah, to develop the knowledge also.
Yeah. So, what other questions do you have?
It was only that one.
Okay.
For now, I'm okay. I'm doing the right way.
Okay. So, every week or every module, I'm going to have a online meeting like this, and if
Mm-hmm.
you can join, great. And if you can't, just watch the tutorial afterwards. Okay. I mean, watch
Okay.
the not the tutorial, watch the recording afterwards.
It will
Um,
be on YouTube.
excuse me.
It will be on YouTube.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is after we wrap up, I'm going to get the link and then be through YouTube, but I will post the link in Blackboard.
Okay.
Um, and if you have questions meanwhile, just go to discussion board and just post it and I will answer it. I really want students to start using the discussion board because honestly, like students ask sort of the same question, and if I can post it there, I can just like answer it once and then tell other students to go there to read the answer. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to check my Blackboard now
Okay.
and see if I have any questions.
That sounds good.
And what happens if we don't finish the time that is there? There are some assignments.
When you take the acuplacer,
Mm-hmm.
so they give you 2 hours. It's 40 questions. To be honest, I think that it'll be fine. I've never had a student that needed more time than 2 hours, but technically, acuplacer is you're supposed to have as much time as you need. Okay.
All right.
Um, but even my students where second is English is a second language, they finished it within 2 hours.
It's not difficult. It will be study.
So, well, here's a good measure, Jocelyn. When you do the practice test in our modules,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what the acuplacer looks like. It's the same number of questions. It's the same number of questions. It's the same setup. So as you do the practice test,
Mm-hmm.
how about you keep track of time and see if you can complete it in 2 hours?
Oh yeah.
Okay. But I think 2 hours is plenty of time. And I've never, over the last like 10 years, I've maybe had like one student who needed more than 2 hours. But that student like just didn't do the work, didn't know what was going on. Like my students that are active in the class, I've never had a problem with them finishing in 2 hours. So please don't let that worry you.
Okay.
Um, but like I said, keep track of your time when you're doing our practice tests, and that'll give you a gauge of timing.
I will do more times the practice test and also the acuplacer.
That sounds good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
something else. Jocelyn, you can do is when you're doing the practice tests or the lesson applications, I try to set them up so that you get the answer immediately and explains it. And if it doesn't explain it fully or if it's still not clear, you can always post on discussion board like tell me practice test number 2, question number 14. I got it wrong. I don't understand the answer. And then I'll explain it to you better.
Okay, okay.
I
Thank
think that's important. And I don't think students are doing that enough. Okay. Anything
you.
else?
That's it.
Okay.
It's,
Well, I'm really glad that you were able to log in and we were able to talk. Um, just just keep doing the work.
mm-hmm. I will do more times the test to practice and practice.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to do is today, probably by like 5 p.m., I'm going to open module 2. I'm going to try to get all of them open in the next like few days so that students who want to move forward, they can.
Yeah, because I'm doing the work that I have to do tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I
Sounds good.
want to save time.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, well,
Mhm.
you know how to find me if you have more questions.
Excuse me?
You know where to find me if you have more questions.
To your email?
Yeah, well, post on discussion board and then I'll answer on discussion board.
Wait, let me try to.
So, do you see when you're on Blackboard? So, are you on a computer or are you
No, in
on
my
your phone?
computer.
Okay. So, on Blackboard, on the left-hand side where it says start here, syllabus, week by week, discussion board.
Okay.
So, discussion board, and then it says student lounge. You open
Mm-hmm.
that, and if you want to post a question, just do create thread.
Okay, I see.
Okay. And so this is what I'm going to do. So look, student lounge, I'm going to hit subscribe. So now anytime a student posts, I get an email alert. So you
Mm-hmm.
could do that too. If you are like, hey, my classmates might ask a question that I want to know the answer to, you can click subscribe and you'll get an email anytime someone posts.
Okay, I did.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, let me just show you one more thing. So
Mm-hmm.
also on this left-hand side, for my grades,
Mm-hmm.
there's a list of all the assignments that's going to happen. Okay. So I show students this um, just for your own idea of what we're going to be doing. And I even have it labeled like module 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, it's a little bit out of order. I'll fix the order, but you'll see everything that you guys have to do. Um,
All of that?
I'm sorry.
All of that we have to do in how long?
Oh, so over the course of the tutorial.
And
So
when it finish?
we're gonna finish. I think it's the Friday before August 21st. So it's
Obvio.
like August 18th or 19th. That Friday.
Yeah, because we have to do the test.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to spend the last 2 days. I want to spend August 20th and 21st doing a review for the test exclusively.
Okay,
So I want all of this work done before then.
okay,
Um, this stuff here where it has due dates, those are all correct. Okay. Um, so this is just showing you everything you're going to do. I just want to remind everyone that um, I'm not so concerned about what your points are at the end of the tutorial. It's just that you're doing the work.
okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So thanks for joining me. And I will hopefully see you again soon, or I'll talk to you at some other point.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
too.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
You too. And that's it, everyone. So if you have questions, be sure to post it on the discussion board. If you have any questions, post on the discussion board. See you guys soon. Bye.